I could play it, Michael.
Yeah, it's nice. Very simple.
Play it.
It does look easy, like you said, it's a non-technical term, but
Yeah.
something you don't have to, swing out of your shoes to make it work.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Reviewing a legend today, Michael. We're not talking about you. Just keep your ego in check for 2 seconds. We're reviewing a legend of all legends. Potentially the biggest of legends.
I think this is before my time.
I know, you're always 17.
Don't cover your face.
I know, I'll do it. Diamana Blue Board. What does that mean to you? Did you ever play any of the OGs?
No. I had a Kylie back in the day.
Kylie?
Aye. That's it. This is a new one for me, folks.
So 20-year anniversary was celebrated this year with the whiteboard. Bringing that back, obviously on tour, legendary shaft profile. We both play Tensei white in many of our woods. I'm in orange right now in driver, but the kind of whiteboard profile has been a staple of on the tour. But before the whiteboard, this was the OG. The blue board was the one. There was the one that I really think the first time I ever heard people talking about, I love the feel of that shaft.
Right, okay.
This was it.
Okay.
Before that came some UST products, some Pro Force, some other kind of shafts. But when I first heard people talking about feel specifically, it was this.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, and we're here today to find out if that legendary feel is still intact, but with modern, up-to-date materials, sort of technology, et cetera, as far as obviously we can go with that in shafts, which is fairly far.
Cool.
We're going to do a little 5-wood, 3-wood driver test. We've got 73X in the 5-wood, 63X in 3-wood, 53X in driver. That's my preference to play 10 grams less. I've always liked
it's nice.
playing a little bit like that. When we done the whiteboard review, Mikey, I vividly remember us talking about how stout those were.
Yeah, and then doing fits with it after the fact. Fast, quick transition players.
Yep.
I mean, it's stout, it's heavy. The spec sheet on this, and like you mentioned, like by the time we were cutting and gripping stuff, these are lighter weight. Like even in X-Flex stuff, if it's 60 gram X, you see it raw weight 66, 69 grams. Yep. This stuff is early 60s, like 63, 64 grams, which is light, light for X product, but again, completely different profile, a little bit higher launching than the whiteboard. Yeah,
a little bit softer. You're going to feel the shaft release a little bit more. You're going to feel that deflection just a little bit more, but you will feel like the shaft is stable overall because it has a fairly tight torque rate.
Yep. So
3.2 degrees of torque and something like the 60 grams stiff is fairly low in torque. Generally, we're seeing shafts kind of 3.8 to 4.2 in torque. And for those of you who don't know sort of what we're talking about when we talk about that, that's the measurement of the stiffness of the shaft as we sort of test it the torsionally, as we sort of twist the shaft. So shafts generally can feel a little bit stiffer the lower that torque is. You get that feedback from the shaft, but I think this one, I'm excited because this one I think is a nice blend of a stable torque, but a little bit of a softer profile. Yeah. If you look at it on the EI curve compared to the whiteboard, it's kind of softer in every area. I've seen in the past where maybe the handle's a little bit stiffer, but it gets softer on the tip and things like that. But this kind of looks like the little brother to the whiteboard now. Yeah. And I think that's what more of you should be playing anyway. So I think for those who are interested in shaft reviews, and it is a little bit of a smaller market in our channel, but for those of you who are interested, this is going to be one to test. You're a Diamana TB guy.
Yep, big fan of that, yeah.
This is in your wheelhouse then.
I like it.
Right?
Cool.
Let's get testing.
Okay, Fraz, we're going to start with the 5-wood.
Yep.
73X, blue board, 42 inches?
42. Yeah, we call it 5-wood. Modified. It's kind of 4-wood loft, 7-wood length, call it 5-wood. It plays right in that window. Just with a flatter flight gives you the ability to hit it a bit lower. Shaft-wise though, yeah, this is going to be a nice match, I think, for fairway wood. Yeah, I think for people who like to play something a bit more stout in the driver, largely because, again, getting into the technical parts, but the bigger head means that the centre of gravity being further back on a driver, the head will deflect more in a forward sort of deflection standpoint. So you make the, if you were in basically like for like shaft in a fairway and head, you'd make the shaft deflect more with a driver than you would in a fairway wood. That's why people typically play slightly softer fairway woods to try and match up that tip deflection. This is one that I think will be a really nice fairway wood match.
See it. Strike. You made a comment, you know, obviously we fit a lot of people into Diamana TB. I fit a lot of people into TB. And you talked about butt size. We were checking the specs.
Yeah.
0.602 in BB.
Yep.
0.632 in TB.
Mm-hmm.
That's a couple wraps of tape, 3 wraps of tape difference.
Wraps of tape, yeah.
Can that, obviously that adds feel or take away feel from the shaft performance?
Yeah, shaft diameter being wider makes it play stiffer.
Right.
So TB, obviously, like I said earlier on, sometimes there's a little bit of, you know, push and pull with the bend profiles. And at that time, I think relative to PD, they were going for a stiffer butt section with TB. Whereas this profile, it seems like they're more content with having a little bit more of a similar EI curve, just softer than white. So yeah, they don't necessarily need to have the bigger butt diameter. Because I mean, I know every time I played TBs, one of my problems with TB is I felt like I was gripping a mid-sized grip.
Right.
Put my standard size grip on there or whatever, you know, a couple of wraps of tape, and it felt huge. But none of the rest of the butt sections of my clubs were that big. So it felt like the one club that was very different. I'm not a fan of that changing of butt diameters.
Strike. In the 4-wood / 5-wood / 7-wood, shaft feels
lovely,
stable.
Lovely.
Yeah. And the nice thing is too, that tech, they have that X-Link down below. Like it still has that stability. There's other tech companies that have similar kind of technology within a shaft.
Yeah, like X-Link in a simplified term is a way of making the shaft where you have the most pure of pure materials. In a graphite shaft, the resin or the glue is not the pure material. Like you want as much carbon, as much graphite as you possibly can in there, especially when you're using the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when you start kind of, you know, loading that up with glue and you get kind of inconsistencies in it, you get maybe a heavier side to it, etc. That's not what you want, you know, at all. But this, it feels easy to hit. It's maybe a non-technical way to describe it. It feels very easy to hit. I could play it, Michael.
Yeah, it's nice. Very simple.
Play it.
It does look easy, like you said, it's a non-technical term, but
yeah,
something you don't have to, you know, swing out of your shoes to make it work. So good.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It is a nice matchup to the fairway woods. It really
Hit yourself around the golf course with a 4-wood. Easy game. Okay, Fries, into your 3-wood, 63X. 43 inches?
Yep, 43, bang on. Yep. Do you know what just flashed in my head there? Remember, I was probably the best driving spell I've had this year was Tennessee Blue in the sim. Probably felt like I had my best driving time of the year. And this is quite a similar feel. Like you definitely feel, maybe it feels a bit more stable than that.
Right, okay.
But it does feel like I'm getting quite a bit from it. And like even as I look at the quad, like smash readings or efficiency readings, they seem like they're quite high.
Yeah. I think the thing too is that ease of playability, like you were talking about earlier, like if that can stem into the driver, this makes life so much easier.
It does. Not bad. A bit necky. Pretty good result, if I'm being honest, felt like a bit of a necky one, Michael.
Necky strike, but the shape's nice.
Yeah, shape's nice.
It's a good strike. Where was that strike?
For a low heel. Not awful.
Yeah. That looks like a dry swing.
Yeah.
If you hit it like that, it's perfect.
No.
Necky went straight. I know they're spinny, a little heely, but they're straight. Those first two drives you hit with this were the exact same again. Same numbers, same launch, same carry, everything.
It feels so friendly.
Yeah.
It feels easy to swing.
That's good.
For people who are kind of maybe between an X and a stiff, feels like a great shaft for that. Probably feels more, it's a bit of play in that, isn't it?
Yeah. But
Feels a bit more like a stiff than a
tons of
an
stability in it. Swing. Pretty straight, this thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think the friendliness of being able to not have to swing at it, you get away with it.
Definitely. I mean, there's probably excess spin a little bit more by strike location than anything else.
Yeah,
It's a wee bit heely, which is user error for sure, but it did feel nice and
the 5 wood looks
easy.
super easy for you.
Yeah.
Which is nice to have in the bag, but as a family of shafts for one set of clubs, just looks super consistent.
Yeah, a shaft. To be honest, I'd love you to try. This. You have the 53 stiff.
Stiff, yeah.
You not tried it yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy the feel of it. I'd actually maybe even be interested in you trying the X. As I say, I think there might be some mileage in going like between stiff and X. Just be curious to see if you feel the same thing. Like that's a very playable, stable shaft.
I like the idea of it maybe in a 3 wood. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah. What do you have in your 3 wood right now?
Easy 6.
Yeah, we're interested to try it.
Yeah, cool.
All right, guys. Yeah, I think one for the smoother swingers.
Definitely.
For maybe the loaders. I mean, I know there's some people out there that historically love those heavy blue boards.
Yeah.
Because Tiger and Sergio and Gary Woodland at that time played, 83s, 93 and 103s. Guys, one thing to remember with those shafts was they went to that weight because this was a shaft that lacked that stability.
Right.
The original blue board was not that stiff. So this heavier you make a shaft, the more material you add to thicken the walls, the more stable you make it. It was more of a crutch than anything else. Okay. So today with kind of the shafts that are out there that fill that void from a material standpoint, a design standpoint, much more stable, but keep the weight more manageable. That's why you see, Tiger and the likes going down. Even Rory used to use the old, heavy fairway wood shaft as a little counterbalance. Using much lighter shaft, but stronger, but much stronger. So don't be looking for these shafts to be in the 93 and 103. They only go up to 83 as of right now anyway. But smooth swingers, green light for you guys. Loaders, maybe approach with caution. Stick probably still to whiteboard.
Yeah.
Maybe match them up. Maybe your 83X and the fairway tipped an inch and a half or so. Just change that stiff profile just to keep the smoothness of the shaft. A load of options with this one.
I liked how it from back here just looked easy to kind of control the ball. And then when you look at dispersion, pretty consistent
Not bad.
as well. So
Not bad at all.
yeah, I like it.
Definitely the 5-wood option and the driver option to me felt fantastic.
Super straight.
Yeah, and just I would probably say if my confidence was a little bit higher with the driver right now, I would have teed it higher.
Yeah.
That would have accessed the higher part. One thing I've got to know about this Title's GT head is I need a higher tee for it. I need to get that upper part of the head. If I do stray low, I'm still backing, which is a me thing. It's not a driver thing at this point. So, but on the shaft, definitely worth trying, guys. We've got it added to the matrix. I was just in the UK at the Glasgow store. Joe and Dane are loaded with these in different options and weights and flexes. You can try this one at any of our stores, North America, Australia, or the UK.
Love it.
Good stuff. All right, guys, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.